Classic Style Minifigures is one of the biggest trends right now, I would say, whether it is companies reinterpreting characters to fit into older themes, like you can see here with the SJBricks Town line, or even companies going and continuing older Lego lines, like you can see here with SpongeBob, as well as the original Spider-Man figures. Everybody is trying to get a piece of this pie, and at this point it's getting a little oversaturated, and I'm honestly a little sick of these types of figures. I know I've said in my videos that I really prefer when they do continue a line, like these two figures here, and it might make me a little bit of a hypocrite to say this, but I'm a little sick of classic style minifigures, and I'd much rather have more detailed ones. I'd say one of the worst offenders for me is this Mario figure by SJBricks. It only features printing on the front, and this overall print is based off of an older Lego torso anyway, so it's not even like they designed something new. It doesn't have yellow buttons to make it unique or anything. And it's a little bit harder to compare this one because it did come with the Mario Kart set as well. So who knows how much this figure would have cost on its own. But what you can see is something that seems a little bit expensive when there are figures that are more fun and exciting and cost the same for whatever reason. Another thing to me that leads to some disappointment is when there is a theme or characters based off of a property you like that gets made, but they're in a classic style. It's nice when they come in a set like this, so at least they match together, but it's a little harder to use these in the rest of your collection. And since a custom company did make these, it's less likely for somebody else to go and produce them as well. So if this is all that's going to be made, it's a little disappointing to have stuff that's a little less detailed for a bit of a premium cost still, which just leaves that little bit of a bad taste in my mouth that I'm getting these figures of this property I like, but they're not to their highest potential. And for certain companies like SJBricks, you can kind of excuse what the figures look like just because that is what their brand has been made out of. So that's fine. But what also irks me is when bigger companies like CitizenBrick makes figures in this style and charge $100 for this set of 4. These Ninja Turtle figures came out for CitizenBrick Day 10, and I'm going to be taking a closer look at these. First, like I said, $100, and they come in plastic bags. Let's compare that to some other offerings, like the Reservoir Dogs set you can see here, which has 5 figures, and guess what? This costs $95, and each one has a custom molded brick arms, or in the case of the Straight Razor, a CitizenBrick molded part. So there's better accessories, more detailed printing, and you're going to be able to use these face prints for whatever human character or different scenarios, especially looking at that windbreaker. That's a really great torso. All sorts of colors and details on that. So why is this cheaper than the Ninja Turtles? And to make matters worse, it's not even like this hasn't been done before. Lego themselves has actually made a line of Ninja Turtle minifigures and sets. Picking each one of these up will average around $5, maybe closer to 10 for some different versions of the characters. But there's specialized molds for the heads as well as the shells on the back. And this is an example of where, they based these figures off of the current cartoon. It would have been really cool to get custom figures of these that aim closer to the, comic books or older cartoons. But instead, we got these weird abominations of Ninja Turtles, which are more likely to be seen taking pictures and charging money on Times Square than fighting crime in the sewers. Let's take a closer look at these figures. So here's Leonardo. Each one of these figures is going to be armed with their iconic weapon, like you can see here being a Lego shovel, which I'm just kidding with that. That's actually one of the comedic aspects that CitizenBrick did incorporate here, using the classic Lego tools to kind of give some accessories to these figures, which plays into the older style. And these mask prints are going to be brand new, but to give a little bit of background and some inspiration for these probably goes back to Philip's Figs, who ended up using misprints of these masked heads that CitizenBrick made here. And a misprint is going to be when a print is printed on a random color. So they ended up getting green heads with this red mask, which is perfect for making the Mirage Comics version of the Turtles, which all had red masks. Unlike that head though, you can see this one has a smiley face instead of a neutral, and the mask is just a rectangle going across, no crease or anything. On the front just features 6 different sections, which are supposed to represent shells, but like a turtle shell has some segments, especially When they're more detailed on this figure, it's a bit more obvious. Looking at here, this looks like a weird modern art. And on the back, a little bit easier to tell what it is. It's just the turtle shell. Something interesting is that it has like the brown underwear for the figure, or it should be green for the legs, since, you know, you can see in this figure, there would be a belt, I guess. But it would have even made more sense if they had used this as tan and printed the torso to have a flat square matching up with the belt to make a more consistent shell design. But that's not what they went and did. Something else to know, each of these torsos is going to be the exact same in all of the figures, so they printed 400 of those torsos, which is pretty typical for a Citizen Brick release. The heads, though, there should only be 100 of each color, and for Leonardo, it's going to be blue. Just grabbing another one quick, here's Michelangelo, which has the orange print and a hammer. And like I said, same torso, same legs, just the color on the mask is going to be different. Let's move on to the next one. We have Raphael with the red mask. So this is the one that would be the closest to their already released head. I think I like this one better for having a little nose divot. It just is more natural as a mask. Again, same torso. This one is a wrench. And last but not least, everyone's favorite, Donatello with the purple mask. Is looking a bit more blue than straight purple, but this is going to be my favorite figure. It features a very fun accessory being the broom, which is as close to a bow staff as you can get, I guess. It would have made more sense just to have a bar piece, but this definitely works. I think using the longer mop style of broom would work a little bit better in the length department, but I think this is my favorite included accessory. And now that we have an idea of all the basic little details that they added, let's throw on some different accessories that actually match the characters and kind of show those off. I will say, after getting the appropriate accessories on these figures, they do pop a bit more. I feel like this is going to make them a little bit more recognizable. And I can see why they went with the older tools, but this is the Ninja Turtles, and this is how I feel like they should be. Some downsides: expensive. And they're all the same color, which is a bit too bad. Picking these two off quick. You can see since they share that same green, you can use these heads on the actual Lego bodies, which is too bad for Michelangelo as well as Donatello. They use a lighter green, so these two aren't going to be compatible. I think that would have been an easy way to make this a more exciting and useful set, is if these were in lighter green, these were in normal green, then they'd be compatible either way. I'll just do another quick comparison, and it doesn't look the worst with the molded shell by Lego. So this is a really fun thing. It works pretty well with the hip piece being brown. It matches up with the belt almost perfectly. There are two separate versions of that molded shell, one with the cross strap, which these torsos wouldn't be useful with since they don't have a strap. And you might be thinking to yourself, if you're not super happy with these figures, why did you buy them? One word: addiction. We all knew that these were going to be limited. Sounds like there's only going to be 100 of this set. So that means you got to get in and buy. I think that's the one positive of the plastic bag for the packaging. I don't have that buyer's remorse from opening the packaging that these were in, especially looking at the resale on eBay. These are going for crazy amounts of money for some reason. I'm sure that value is going down now that a bunch have sold. And like I said, these are so out of left field for Citizen Brick doing classic style figures like this. The torso has one color on the front, one on the back, so two on that one. The heads have two colors. I'm pretty sure they already print smiley faces, or have in the past maybe. So they might already have a plate for that, but the mask is slightly different. And again, why is this $100 and their 5-packs are $95? And I do enjoy the SJ Bricks figures. I think having a brand that people know that's what you're going to be releasing, that's how it should be. And I think Citizen Brick should stick with the more detailed figures. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you a fan of these figures? Are you not? And if you want to see more Citizen Brick Day 10 or just Citizen Brick videos, check out all the other ones on my channel. I've been Brick Radiop. I'll see you in the next video.